If you like horror, hit that notification bell, smash that like button, and push that subscribe button now.
What's the boogeyman?
Hello, Sydney.
Welcome to my nightmare. We want the man who did this.
Welcome to Nick Push's Horror Channel.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I told you Sunday I was going to go live more. Here I am 2 days later, live. We're going to talk some horror news tonight. So this is kind of spontaneous, so not sure how many people will be here, but it looks like we already got a couple, which I'll address in a moment. Like I said, I'm going to try to go live more. It's probably not going to be twice in a week like this or twice in 3 days, but I am going to try. I want to be able to schedule them out a little bit more, but it's all going to depend on my day job because that's always going to take precedence. So before we get into stuff, let's see who's all in the chat. Allie Girl is here. She's ending her boycott of my channel. That is nice to see. Kidding, obviously, Allie. Josh from Real Dead is here. Says, yo, Nick. Josh says they just got done recording a horror news video, releasing it tonight. All right, so go check out Real Dead after this if you guys want the real news, because I got barely anything prepared, just winging it. It's fun sometimes though, but we do got stuff to talk about. Tommy Quinn's in the house. What's up, Tommy? How's it going? Blake is in the house. Let's see what Blake is going to try to get me to say tonight. You know, Blake's good at that kind of stuff. Hey, Blake, how you doing, man? I just watched this morning on my way to work. Blake and Ronnie did a watching of the original Halloween 2 trailer. I encourage you guys to go check that out. It's pretty good. And Blake was right on the money with what he said. So the original Halloween 2 trailer, it starts out with basically, I think Loomis going nuts. You know, I shot him in the heart. He's not human. And so it starts out with a bang, and then it just fucking drags and drags and drags. And it's like, it was interesting. So Blake, you were right on the money with that. Adam Howard's here. Hey, Adam, how's it going, buddy? It says the Texas Chainsaw Massacre game just released their fourth new family member that's tied to the original. Got me starving for an OG Texas Chainsaw sequel. Yeah. So Tommy, were you not a fan of the one that came out on Netflix? Was that 2 years ago? It might have been 3 years ago now. That was kind of divisive. It's divisive these days, right? But there's a lot of it I liked, but it didn't really feel like, you know, didn't have the family in there, so it was kind of weird. I don't know what else you could do with a legacy sequel. Definitely had some cringe moments too, yeah, it was interesting. You could tell it was a made for Netflix one. I did not hate it though. I did not hate it. Blake says just got his ass whooped in adult softball. Dude, I miss playing softball so much. It's so fun. But I used to get my ass kicked all the time. What position do you play, Blake? Can't remember. I think I did ask you that, actually. I think you said you're a pitcher. That's right. That's right. So what are you guys looking forward to in horror? A lot of new movies coming out this summer. You know, Beetlejuice, Alien, Romulus. Trap is one that's on my radar. The M. Night Shyamalan one with Josh Hartnett. I think that could be a cool mystery. I'm interested to see what the twist is in that one. Definitely going to be avoiding shit until I'm able to see it. It might be one that I actually decide to spend my hard-earned money on, which is rare these days. But yeah, definitely looking forward to Trap and Beetlejuice and Alien Romulus. Got a lot of Maxines in the house. I was saying on Sunday, I haven't seen X. I haven't seen Pearl. I just, they're on my list. They're streaming, so there's really no excuse for me. But yeah, I'm with you, Blake. The Josh Hartnett movie, yeah, Trap. It seems intriguing to me. You know, as we know, because it's Shyamalan, right? Even if there's not a, you know, twist, a Shyamalan twist, you know, there's going to be something in there that we don't expect. So I'm really intrigued by that. I think the concept it is pretty cool. We'll see how the execution is. And Shyamalan's hit or miss for me. When he hits, he really hits. But when he misses, it just doesn't do anything for me. The one movie that I'm kind of torn on is one that came out a couple of years ago called Old. I don't know if you guys ever saw that one. Basically, these people go to an island and they start aging really rapidly. I'm torn on that one. There's a lot of things I liked about it and a lot of things that I was just like, I don't know. But we also got some news relatively recently, not like yesterday or anything, but within the last few weeks that, or maybe even the last week, that Bill Skarsgård is going to return to play Pennywise in the It prequel series, Welcome to Derry. So that is going to be interesting. I'm a huge fan of It, specifically the 1990 TV miniseries, which I know is not, it hasn't aged well. And it was a TV miniseries, right? But I was a sucker for just kind of the tone and vibe and just kind of the feeling of dread in that movie. It Chapter 1, I really, really liked. I thought it was excellent. And I thought It Chapter 2 was fucking garbage. Not only was it like 3 hours long, way too fucking long, but it was way too modern blockbustery, where they felt like they had to throw in a joke every 10 minutes, right? And the best example I can think of that is when I think it's Eddie, he gets stabbed, right? So Eddie gets stabbed like in that fucking jugular. He gets stabbed by what's his face? Henry Bowers, right? Nice try, Blake. But he gets stabbed by Henry Bowers, and he's bleeding and bleeding and bleeding, and he makes some pun as he's kind of going towards the stairs. He's like, something about his mullet or something like that. Henry Bowers mullet, and it's like that. Nobody would fucking do that. Nobody would ever fucking have a knife in their neck and someone's hair out loud. It just wouldn't happen. So that's what I mean by like modern blockbustery, where they feel like they got to have a joke every certain interval of time. So it really bugged me with it, Chapter 2. And just like the 1990 miniseries, it did not land the plane. The ending sucks on both of those. But It Chapter 1, I thought was absolutely fantastic. All right, let's see what else we got here in the chat. Allie picked out a good one here. I want to see In a Violent Nature, but it's not showing close to me. Damn Bible Belt. Yeah, I want to see that too. I know Bud over from the Shape of Horror podcast. I know he was raving about it. He said the ending. He didn't like the ending, but I know he was raving about it. And if you guys know Bud, my buddy Bud, he's been away from YouTube for a few weeks, but I know next week, Wednesday, I believe, he is going on talking Halloween Resurrection. So make sure, guys, you go check out the Shape of Horror podcast. That is the updated name of his channel. All right, let's see what else we got going on here. Josh says, yeah, the It 1990 is the best. Yeah, I just like it. And some of that's nostalgia, right? I remember being a kid in elementary school watching it. I just like it better. That's me. Blake laughing because I didn't fall for his trick, which I'm not going to put on screen. Allie says, we can't even get a Friday movie because of the rights, much less getting the two together. Yeah. There was a comment in here. Oh, yeah. Here's Nicholas. Nicholas was asking a question. Sorry, Nicholas. Great name, by the way. Says, do you know if they're going to make a Michael Myers vs. Jason movie? So I would highly, highly doubt it. I think your best bet at a Michael vs. Jason movie is there's a fan film on YouTube for free called Evil Emerges. And for a fan film of Michael versus Jason battling, it's really fucking good. So I would think you do that kind of to whet your appetite, but there's no way there will ever be a Michael versus Jason movie because you're going to have two studios with the rights to those, right? Like Ali said, and they're not going to do it unless Blumhouse comes along, re-gets Halloween, and, something like that happens. It's possible. But I think your best bet is that watching Evil Emerges. I believe that's what it's called. Tommy asks, when's the release for Terrifier 3? I don't know. I think it's at sometime in November because we know it's set at Christmas time, right? So we know it's set at Christmas time, and I know it's not coming out this summer. So I'm guessing at some point in the fall. It could be around Halloween, but it might be. Oh, okay. Allie says October 11th. All right, so it could be around Halloween, or it is around Halloween. It's 3 weeks before Halloween on October 11th. Yeah, and I think that's smart. People are going to want to see it around Halloween, and then they can keep it in the theaters, hopefully for their sake, around Christmas time, or at least into streaming around Christmas time, so people watch it. Ellie says that is the same day as It's Me Billy Chapter 2. Yeah, I'm excited for to see what McCrae and Dale do with It's Me Billy Chapter 2. If you guys don't know what that is, it's a fan film, Black Christmas fan film that Dave McCrae, the YouTuber, is doing with his buddy Bruce Dale. And the first one was really, really good. If you're a fan of Black Christmas, I know you'd enjoy it. But yeah, for me, it's basically Trap and Beetlejuice are kind of the two ones on my radar. And Beetlejuice, just like, I was talking with it, this purely nostalgia. Seeing Michael Keaton back in that Beetlejuice garb will be very nostalgic for me and for a lot of people. And I think Keaton was just saying as well, he's kind of perplexed by the marketing for this because he's seeing like Beetlejuice everywhere. And it's like, well, dude, you know that they're going to, market the shit out of it. But, to Keaton's point, Beetlejuice is not a good guy. He's not a guy that you want, on your kids' pajamas and shit like that. So yeah, Beetlejuice I'm excited for, just because of nostalgia, and Trap I'm excited for just because it's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It's got Josh Hartnett, and the concept looks very intriguing for me. So the real question though becomes, are we going to get some Halloween news between now and October? I think we do. I think whether it's sometime in the fall, sometime this summer, I think we're going to get some Halloween news. As much as the franchise probably should take a long hiatus, we know that horror is hot right now, continuing to be hot, and we don't know when that's going to end, right? There's trends in the entertainment industry, just like every other industry. So that's why these studios, will probably try to take advantage. And that's why, Friday the 13th is really fucking dropping the ball. That's why Nightmare on Elm Street needs to get their shit together. Because as much as everybody, wants Robert Englund to play Freddy Krueger, that ain't going to happen anymore. He's way too old for that. Way too old. So it's time to pass the baton on to somebody else. Josh says, I love seeing movies in the theater. I've seen like 10 this year. Damn, dude, 10 already? That's crazy. Good for you. I have seen in the theater this year, I have seen 0. I think the last movie I saw in the theater was Indiana Jones at the end of last summer. And for me, it's a combination of two things. Number one, it's the money. I know I'm a cheapskate, but it ends up being $20 or something like that. It's ridiculous. But even just as much as that, it's kind of the time consuming thing. I don't want to go sit in the theater for 2.5 hours, and then you add in 15-minute commute each way. And it's just like, fuck, man, that's either your whole night if it's a weekday, or, by the time, you do it on a Saturday or something, and half your day is gone. And I think that might just be my age now. I'm getting older and time is more valuable to me. But yeah, that's just me. Blake says, Nick, what position did you play in softball? I played 2 positions. When mostly I played center field, or in softball there's 4 outfielders, so I'd play left center. But depending on the team I was on, because I played on a few different teams, if I was on a team that didn't have a stud player, I would be the person that would have to play shortstop, because that's just what I did. I'm a natural outfielder, but I can play short better than most people. But usually usually you got your best player on the team, right? You got some stud, and he's going to be the shortstop, and then I would happily go play left center and man the outfield. But if either our best player wasn't there, or I was on a team that didn't have some stud player, I'd have to play shortstop. And I actually like playing the field better than batting. I'm an average hitter, Blake. Like I'm like a guy that I'm the guy that would lead off and turn a line drive to center field into a double, and didn't really have any power. I was just kind of known for my defense, but I miss playing it. Definitely miss playing it. Tommy says last movie I saw in the theater was Scream 6. Yeah, I think that was the second last I saw in the theater, but then we're already pushing. When did Scream 6 come out? It was was it last February? Something like that, right? March maybe. So yeah, that's crazy. Already over a year. Ellie says money is a big thing. We used to be able to see movies for $1. I know. We had where I grew up, there was a budget cinema, and after I don't know, whatever it was, 3, 4, depending on the movie, sometimes 6 or 8 weeks, it would go over to the budget cinema and you'd go see it for $1. Cannot do that anymore. That's for damn sure. Dr. Hoffman in the house says, hey, Nick. Hey, everyone. Hey, Dr. Hoffman. How are you doing tonight? Real Dead says he actually has a cheap theater near me for 2 tickets, 2 drinks, popcorn, and 2 candy. It's like $23. No joke. It's great. Damn. Wish they had that by me. That's a steal right there. So 2 tickets, 2 drinks, popcorn, and 2 candies, $23. Man, that's crazy. Nice try, Ronnie. Hold on, I'm reading this again. Love those guys. Adam Howard says the last movie I saw in the theaters was the Child's Play remake. Okay, yeah, I remember seeing that. That was 2019, right? I actually didn't mind the Child's Play remake. You know, it doesn't hold a candle to the OG Child's Play, and it's so different. You know, having it be AI or a robot or whatever. Going crazy, but it kind of fits in the world today. I would rather have, Voodoo Spirit and shit like that. But I didn't mind the Child's Play remake. There's some gnarly kills in there. It was interesting. It was a very different movie. Dr. Hoffman says, we still have a drive-in here, but it's expensive. Yeah, there's a drive-in by me right now. It's probably 10 minutes away. But they never play any movies I want to see. So it's just kind of ridiculous. Uh-oh. Davey Death Ray in the house says, hey, everyone. Hey, Davey, how you doing, man? Good to see ya. Davey's got Late Night with the Davey tomorrow night, I believe. And I think he's got Sledgehammer Horror and someone else. I can't remember who else, but yeah, excited to see that. This is I think it's going to be his 5th episode of Late Night with the Davey. So make sure you guys go check that out tomorrow. The week's treating me treat me okay. I can't complain. There's people having worse weeks than me, so I can't complain. Allie says it's great when Blake and Ronnie are in the chat. They're not even giving me anything I can read. They're being inappropriate, Allie. They're being inappropriate. They think they can either pop me or get me to read some name like Testicles or something like that. And I'm not gonna lie, it's funny. It is funny. Davey says Christian from Planet CHH will be on. It's going to be a barn burner. Nice. All right. So what other horror news has excited you guys lately? Like I said, I was talking about Bill Skarsgård, returning for I think it's called Welcome to Derry, right? The question I have, and maybe someone in the chat can help me because I haven't read the synopsis for the It prequel. But the question I have is, when is this going to take place? Obviously, it's going to be, if it's called Welcome to Derry, right? I would assume it's kind of when Derry became a town and how Pennywise gets there. It'll just be interesting because I don't want a huge backstory with Pennywise, because anyone that's read the book knows that, first of all, Stephen King was coked out of his fucking mind while writing this book, hence the child orgy. But he also had there's literally a tortoise controlling the universe in that book. So is this tortoise going to be in there? Is this tortoise going to put Pennywise in Derry and tell him to wake up every 27 years or something like that, or 30 years or something like that? So I hope, we see Derry, the beginning of, Derry as a town, settlers going there or something, and Pennywise is already there. And we don't figure out, why he's there or anything like that. He's just some demon that, is there and needs to feed every 27 years or 30 years, whatever the fuck it is. So I hope we don't get too much of a backstory, but because it's a television series, I think we may. And, we might even get some, Bill Skarsgård not in the Pennywise makeup as some person that's turned into Pennywise, kind of similar to what they did in some of the Elm Street sequels with Robert Englund. And I hope we don't get that. And I know the ladies might like seeing Bill Skarsgård out of the makeup, but they can watch the Crow remake if they want to see that. For me, I want to see Pennywise doing his Pennywise shit. Oh no, Dr. Hoffman. Have to replace water heater. 10 grand. Fuck. 10 grand? Oh. It's ridiculous. A couple years ago, that would have been like 3 or 4 grand, I bet. Unreal. Yeah, I agree. That is a true horror story. Yeah, life gets expensive. And at this point, it's so hard to save, right? So you need to put money away for emergencies, and it's so hard to save. And because bills are so much and food is so much and all that shit. Yeah, Blake, I wanted to say that too, but I'm not going to. But everything's so much, and you try to save, and then you get a fucking terrible thing like that happen where it's 10 grand. That sucks. Adam says slasher TV shows are dangerous. Screams was a silent bomb. Chucky was desecrated, and the writers slandered Cody Leach for his opinion. These are historic fails. Did the writers actually slander Cody Leach for his opinion? That's crazy. I know Cody wasn't a big fan of it, which is funny because Cody's a huge Chucky fan. From what I've seen of Cody, he's a big Chucky fan, and I know I saw him like praising season 1 a little bit, and then it kind of fell off the rails for him. And that's ridiculous. If they're slandering him for not liking it, that's fucking ridiculous. And Cody's probably, in my opinion, might be if not the best YouTuber out there. He'd be on my like Mount Rushmore of people, I'll watch. I think if it comes to reviewing movies, if it comes to like ranking videos, Cody Leach is probably my go-to. Seems like a decent guy. I've never talked to him, never met him, but seems like a decent guy. And he just, he gets his opinion out there. If something sucks, he says it sucks. So the fact that the writers went after him for that is extremely unprofessional and bullshit. Like that's absolutely ridiculous. Hey, Mike from Real that is here now. We got Josh and Mike. Dr. Hoffman says one of the scariest things I've seen on TV was Squeeze episode on the X-Files. Couldn't sleep for days. Oh, I am a huge X-Files fan. Squeeze was like the 3rd episode they ever did. And it's a guy that can like squeeze through the vents. I can't remember his name offhand. Is it Eugene? No, I can't remember. But it's some guy that could squeeze through the vents, and he was like a serial killer. And he also had to kind of feed every so often, just like Pennywise. But yeah, really creepy. I love the X-Files, especially those early season X-Files episodes. Those first like 4 or 5 seasons are absolutely fantastic. Eugene Toombs, thank you, Dr. Hoffman. Yeah, I love the X-Files. Adam says some of Don's people straight up were slandering. He is the nicest guy, and they made him into an angry bigot. Oh, that sucks. That sucks. Blake says never seen it. Never seen the X-Files episode. Yeah, it's really good. Those early season X-Files episodes, I'm telling you, the standalone Monster of the Week X-Files episodes were some of the scariest shit ever put on television to this day. Ronnie says, saw the new Mad Max. New guy named Blake is having to tell fans to quit messaging him on social media because they think he is a really bad guy. Although maybe that's a real name. Like, I don't trust you now, Ronnie. I don't trust you. Is the new Mad Max any good? I haven't seen it. Real Dead says X-Files is an all-timer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, X-Files, it came out right after Twin Peaks, which Twin Peaks is obviously great, too. And Twin Peaks, was like one of the original, like, water cooler shows, back then, and I wasn't old enough, but, you say Laura Palmer, who killed Laura Palmer. That's all everyone was talking about. And then the X-Files came after that, and I was a kid, and the X-Files would be on. I think it was on after The Simpsons. My parents didn't want me to watch it either, but obviously I did anyway, because when you're, 12 years old or whatever the hell it was, you don't listen to your parents. If your parents don't want you to watch something, you're going to watch it all the more. But yeah, those early season X-Files episodes, fantastic. Trying to think of some of the other ones. There's so many of them. I should do some X-Files reviews, because that would be fun. I need to rewatch that. But yeah, X-Files is great. All right, let's see what else. Sorry, Ronnie. See, it was great. Dixon Side is a real actor. Okay. Oh, damn it. I trusted you, man. I trusted you. Oh, you got me. You got me. Oh, I said it out loud. I read it in my head about 6 times and I couldn't hear it. And then I said it out loud. And sure enough, Dixon Side. Nice. Well done. Well done. Davey says, I can't see myself giving that Ferogia any time of mine. Prequels are dreadful and pointless. I already know what I need to know about his character. Time to move on and tell me something new. Yeah, I'm kind of with you there too. There's not many prequels that have really wowed me. I'm trying to think of a prequel movie that that wowed me, and I can't. I'm sure there's a few that are really good, but they're very few and very far between. Real Dad, I think this is Mike, says, never watched Twin Peaks, but great memories watching X-Files with my dad. Loved it. Yeah, same. It's one of those shows that defined the early 90s, There's so many shows that kind of are products of their time, whether it's Seinfeld, Cheers, that are just products of the era they were in. And, back then we had not as many options now. So, at 8:30 on Thursday nights in the mid 90s, people were gathering around their TVs to watch Seinfeld and then talking about the next day. Same thing with Sunday nights. So yeah. Dr. Hoffman says Twin Peaks was awesome. Yeah, it was great. It was really good. Very unique. Very obviously David Lynch, right? Ellie's happy that Ronnie pulled one over on me. I should know better. I trusted him. Dr. Hoffman says one of the best series was Bates Motel. I've seen a few episodes of that, and it was good. It was really good. Vera Farmiga was good. The kid that played Norman, he's not a kid anymore, but the kid that played Norman was really good. And one thing that I appreciated about that was it wasn't just a prequel to the movie. It was kind of a different spin on it, and I respect that, and when they work, and when they don't work, they work. They don't work, but you got to take some chances if you're taking an IP. It can't just be the same thing over again, especially, with, something like Bates Motel and something like Psycho. We already had a shot for shot remake with Gus Van Sant directed that. And what's his face? Vince Vaughn starred in that. So yeah, definitely appreciate that they did something different. All right, so let's see what else. Tommy says the prequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre was my favorite. I haven't seen the prequel. What's that one called? Is that Leatherface? Is that the one that's called Leatherface? I haven't seen that one either. I've only seen, of the TCM movies, I've only seen the OG, obviously. I've seen Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which I know a lot of people love. For me, I prefer the darker tone than the goofy tone. And I know it was kind of like a remake almost, right? It's kind of what he originally wanted to do with it. But it just, I appreciate the goofy tone. There's a place for that. But for me, the OG, I'll take that tone all the way. And I've seen the remake from 2003 with Jessica Biel, which is a fantastic remake. And then I saw the other one I saw was the Netflix one. Texas Chainsaw Massacre from, I think it was 2021, something like that. Might have been 2022. I think it was 2021 though. But yeah, I haven't seen any others. Tommy says 2006, The Beginning. Okay. Okay, the beginning. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Is that which is the one where it's been memed and gifted to death at these days? Which is the one that says like do it cuz or something like that, right? Like do your thing cuz, isn't that it? Like yeah. Josh says Mike, his co-host on his channel, was 35 when Twin Peaks came out. And we got some bickering, some trouble in paradise over on the Real Dead channel. Adam says the prequel to Texas Chainsaw remake was good. Same quality. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Tommy swears by it. Adam swears by it. I know you guys got good taste from what I've seen in the comments. So yeah, I'll have to check that out. Davey agrees. Says he's not really into TCM2 either. It's awesome that it isn't a rehash, but I prefer the more serious tone. Yeah. Like I said, like I'm glad that they didn't just do a shot for shot remake or something like that. But yeah, it's all a matter of preference, right? Some people are gonna prefer the serious tone. Some people are gonna prefer kind of the more goofy tone. Which Evil Dead do you like better, Davey? Not to ruin any future videos, but do you like the original or part 2? Because isn't Evil Dead 2 basically similar to TCM2, is where it's kind of like a more fun take on the original, where it's almost like a remake a little bit. Dr. Hoffman asks, Nick, have you seen the Andromeda Strain? No, but I believe is that a Michael Crichton book that was made into a movie or TV show? I know what you're talking about, but no, I haven't seen it. Sounds like what they're going to call the next COVID virus or something. But yeah, I definitely know what you're talking about, but I haven't seen it. Real Dead says, Nick, are you interested in the new Strangers trilogy? I thought chapter 1 wasn't terrible. Interested is a relative term. Am I interested? I mean, I'll say I'm intrigued by them. Like, I'll watch them, but I don't know if I'm really interested in it. The Strangers is kind of like it's kind of like Halloween in a respect, where you can only get so much mileage out of such a simple concept, right? In the original Strangers movie from 2008, I think it was 2008. I think I was saying that on Sunday, but in 2008, it was such a simple concept. That's where you get the "because you were home" line, right? No motive. You were home. We came to fucking fuck with you and kill you, right? And then you get Pray at Night, which, as I was saying the other day, was probably my favorite surprise happy theater experience of all time, because I had zero expectations for it and I really enjoyed it. However, I think because of the 80s vibe, because of the soundtrack, and because of a lot of visuals, I think people put Strangers Pray at Night up here when it probably is really down here. And I think it's just people flocking on YouTube or flocking on like Twitter and things like that, saying, oh man, it was awesome. And like, it was good, but I don't know if it was awesome. And I think people just get caught up with, when the whole crowd online, is saying a movie's awesome, or your favorite YouTubers are saying a movie's awesome, well, you're going to just automatically think it's awesome too. And it's just, it's the same shit we are dealing with, on the playground in elementary school. And I'm very curious how certain movies from franchises now, where people's opinions on them are swayed by like big YouTubers or big people, people with a big following on Twitter and things like that. I almost feel like people are scared to like something that everyone else hates, and and vice versa. People will want to like something because everyone else hates it, and it's just human nature. But I find that fascinating. Ronnie says Dr. Hoffman hasn't seen any movies made in the last 30 years. She's got she's got a lot of good suggestions for older movies that I need to keep adding to my list. Thoughts on Sandler casting someone and Happy Gilmore too. I almost want to say this out loud, Blake, because I'm curious what it is. I'm saying it in my head and I don't get it. Oh. All right, let's see what Davey says about Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2 does have a bit more silliness in it, but I would not say it's nearly as goofy as TCM 2. His favorite Evil Dead is the original, followed very closely by the 2013 reboot sequel. Yeah, I like the 2013 movie, even though, like I said, I'm not a huge Evil Dead guy. Yeah, Ellie, the reviews for The Strangers have not been kind at all. And I'm wondering, I don't think we have another Exorcist on our hands, right? Where, they're planning on doing a trilogy and they're going to either have to A, stop, or B, pay Mike Flanagan to come save them. But because I think they might have already filmed the second one here. But not an encouraging sign for Rennie Harlan and the studios, that the reviews are pretty awful right off the bat for the new Strangers movie. I'm going to get to some of these other ones. I just want to address Ronnie here. He says, serious question, Nick. Why would anyone put any value in what a movie critic or YouTuber's opinion of a movie? If you are interested, go watch it and judge for yourself. Oh, yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree with you. I think, it's interesting. So there's a lot of, YouTubers that I'll watch that I respect their opinion a lot. And, a lot of times, what they like, I like. So I think naturally, if that person, for instance, Cody Leach, right? If Cody Leach really likes a movie, there's a good chance I'm probably going to like the movie too, because I've seen, let's say I've seen 50 of his videos and 85% of them, we have the same opinion. But I think a lot of people watch these reviews or watch what a certain YouTuber thinks before they see the movie, and then their opinion is kind of warped already. So it's kind of sad, and that's just my opinion. I could be way off on this, right? I could be way off on this, but I'm with you. We should all have our own opinions. There's a lot of terrible movies out there that I fucking love. I like Jaws 3. I know it's a shitty movie. So people, if you watch reviews of Jaws 3, certain YouTubers or whatever are going to be ripping into Jaws 3. They're not wrong. They're not wrong. It sucks. There's so many things that suck. I like it for personal reasons, nostalgia. Certain scenes I like, and it just makes me happy. So there's just a lot of crappy movies that I can admit that are crappy that I like, and I don't care if my favorite YouTuber doesn't like them. I don't care if Dixon Holes in the chat or whoever the fuck you were talking about earlier, Ronnie. I don't care if that person likes it or not either. Like I'm with you. Like we need to just not be afraid to have our own opinion. We need to not be afraid to, have someone in a comment section or somebody, on Twitter or whatever, rip into us for a movie we don't like. Who cares? If someone's ripping into me because I like a movie that they don't, they're a fucking loser. If someone's not going to watch me because I like Halloween Ends, that's their right. But if they're going to call me every name in the book because I like Halloween Ends when they didn't say all that shit before, well, then they're a fucking loser. That's just my opinion. See, Ronnie, you get me on a rant. All right, Davey says he's seen 0 Strangers movies on a scale of 23 to 57. How much am I missing out? On that scale, Davey, I would say 40. Like I would watch the original. And then if you like the original, watch the second one. Second one's not as good, but it does have a lot of great qualities and it's really fun. But if you don't ever watch it, I mean, you ain't missing out. Let's see what else we got here. Dr. Hoffman with another good recommendation. I'm guessing good recommendation, says Trailer Park of Terror, a must see. I mean, that's a cool ass title. I'll give it that. That's a really cool ass title. Oh, here's one. So Tommy says, has anyone seen the new shark movie Under Paris? I have not. I've heard rumblings of it that it's pretty decent. And I'm not going to lie. I'm a sucker for shark movies. Like shitty shark movies. Like I like Sharknado. I've seen a lot of the Sharknado sequels. And just like I was saying earlier, like I know they're not good. I know they're not, but I have fun. I have fun watching. I mean, Ian Ziering puts a fucking chainsaw on his hand like he's Bruce Campbell, and he's jumping through the air into a tornado, chopping up sharks. I'm sorry, that's fun to me. Like, that is fun to me. If I'm in the right mood, I am just all into that. So I'm a sucker for shark movies, even like those stupid like old sci-fi movies, shark movies, or the shit you see on Tubi. They have all these stupid ass shark movies like Octopus vs. Shark and stuff like that. I'm in. I'm absolutely in. Ellie says, yeah, she liked both the Strangers movies. Adam, I'm with you. I like to watch reviews of movies I've already seen. Yeah, I think one of the first things I usually do if I'm not making a video on a movie myself, because I try not to watch reviews of movies that I'm going to end up talking about or reviewing right away, because I don't want my opinion swayed, even though, like, I'm not going to say something different because YouTuber A said something, but you can get swayed by stuff, even subconsciously. But yeah, one of the first things I do if I'm not talking about a movie is I'll go watch what some of my favorite YouTubers are saying about the movie. See if I agree with them. Dr. Hoffman's with me. She says, I love all shark movies, even the five-headed shark attack. Five-headed shark attack. See? Exactly. Ronnie agrees. Five-headed shark attack is a classic. Josh says he is going to unsub because I like Halloween Ends. No, you won't, Josh. No, you won't. You're a classy guy, Josh. I don't think you'd do that. But you do have that right. Like I said, everyone has the right to not watch someone they don't like. I just think it's crazy that if somebody's opinion doesn't jive with yours, you're not going to like them. Ooh, I like this game here, Davey. Davey says, Nick, start, bench, cut. Michael, Jason, Freddy. Ooh. Okay. I mean, who am I going to cut there? I think I need to cut Freddy. And then I'll start Michael because I'm a Michael guy, right? And I'll bench Jason, and Jason will be ready. So if Michael pulls his hammy, Jason is ready. And then Freddy, I'm sorry, Freddy's been cut. He's already, he's either in AAA or he was picked up by another channel, and he's probably in the starting lineup, and he's probably going to be pissed off that I cut him and come kill me in my dream later that night. That's kind of how I see that unfolding. Let's see here. Davey says that's the right answer. All right, good. Glad someone agrees with me. Mike says Josh has unsubbed his own channel 3 or 4 times. I unsubbed mine too. Actually, I don't even know if I can sub to my own channel. Can you? Can you subscribe to your own channel? I don't know. Or maybe you're like one of these people that have like 12 burner accounts so they can get their sub count up. Real Dead says start Jason, bench Freddy, cut Michael. Yeah, I mean there's no wrong answer here, right? I mean, they're all icons. And for me, the reason I would probably cut Freddy is just because, number one, I'm a Michael guy. And number two, like, if I am in the mood to watch a slasher movie, I'm in the mood to watch a Friday the 13th movie. And I got to be in a specific mood to watch a Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Even though I love A Nightmare on Elm Street, Freddy Krueger is awesome. I have to be in a certain mood to watch them, where I can just put on Jason, put on a Friday the 13th movie, and just be fine. I can put on a Halloween movie and be fine. Ellie wants Jason to start because she's ready for him. I'm ready for him too. Davey, want to know how it feels to be cut from the team, Nick? That's good. Hey, Rob, what's up, man? Review it, Rob, in the house. How you doing, Rob? Good to see you, buddy. All right, Blake, keeping the game going, says Nick, Mary F. Kill, Pam Voorhees, Mrs. Elrod, or Ethel from Friday the 13th, Part 5. Well, I love Ethel. I love Ethel. She's gonna make me that stew. She's not gonna put up with shit from idiot kids like Junior. So we'll marry Ethel. And now we're talking about F and kill. Although Mrs. Elrod makes a mean sandwich too. So that's the thing. Well, does she though? Does she? She might make a terrible sandwich because Harold is sleeping while she's making the sandwich. So I think I would. No, I can't. I can't. So I gotta F Mrs. Elrod, and I gotta kill Pam Voorhees. And the reason why is I don't want to F Pam Voorhees because what if I have a kid and he's all deformed, right? Right. What if I slip one past the goal and he's all deformed and he drowns in a lake and all kinds of craziness ensues? So yeah, that's it. That's it. We will marry Ethel. We will F Mrs. Elrod. Oh, saying that is but we'll kill Pam Voorhees. That's my answer, and I am sticking to it. Blake. Harold is asleep because she just wore his ass out. That's good. All right, let's see what else we got here. Allie agrees with me. She cooks. She cooks. She doesn't make a lazy ass sandwich. She actually cooks. Here we go. Now Ronnie's talking. Mary F. Kill. Hitcher from Friday. The Hitcher from the final chapter. Ali. Is that you talking about Ali and Joey from part 3? Joey from part 3. So Ali from part 3, and you're talking about Joey from part 5, I assume. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. So I mean, the answer is none, but in the, yeah. So we'll do this. What I will do in the spirit of Pride Month, I will marry Ali, the biker guy from part 3. And then I will F the hitchhiker, and I got to kill Joey. But in the spirit of Pride Month, I will marry Ali from part 3. Real Dead says, I have to be in a certain mood to have comedy in my horror movies. Is that weird? Sometimes I like a serious slasher. Absolutely not weird at all. Not weird at all. That's why horror comedies are kind of an acquired taste sometimes. So, yeah, I'm kind of the same way. You know, I love horror comedies. My favorite horror comedy of all time is The Burbs from 1989, I believe, with Tom Hanks and Bruce Stern and the limo driver from Blank Check. Courtney Gaines, all those guys. Love that movie. But yeah, I got to be in the right mood for most horror comedies. Yes, Davey, that's right. She'll call you a dildo. Everyone needs a woman in her life that calls them a dildo. Yes. Oh, she's so good. I got a bomb on me. She's so good. Rob says, doing good. Trying to decide if I want to see The Watchers this week. Guess I need something to review The Watchers. Yeah, I've heard that. Is that coming out this week? Dr. Hoffman says, original Alien followed by Aliens is always a winning double feature. Oh, yeah, absolutely agree. And what's nice is they're two very different movies, even though they're the same. Two very different movies. So yeah, you get a good double feature. You get the good like horrific stuff, and then you get kind of the balls to the wall action. Yes, Adam. Reluctantly, yes. I'm gonna have to go back and delete my comment or delete that part of the video, right? Because I'm gonna, if I'm ever running for public office, someone's gonna see that. Real Dead says, Nick, have you ever noticed in Friday the 13th Part 3, several people get up from the toilet without wiping? I have noticed that. Harold is the main. So it's Harold and what's his face? Chuck, right? I'm sure, I can't remember, but I'm sure Ronnie and Blake talked about that. They did a whole live stream, Josh. Ronnie and Blake from ATG and AT podcast in the chat here. They did a whole live stream, like 2 hours worth, doing nothing but talking about bathroom scenes from the Friday the 13th franchise. I'd encourage you to check that out because I'm pretty sure they talked about the no wiping. Ronnie, I haven't seen this movie. The Sigourney Weaver movie called Copycat. Isn't that a 90s movie? Didn't it kind of come out at the same time as like The Net with Sandra Bullock came out and all that stuff? I know what movie you're talking about, but I've never seen it. Is it any good? Yes, Corey Feldman was in The Burbs. Forgot about him. He's great in The Burbs too. He's hilarious. I think I was talking about sometime recently. I feel like Corey Feldman, you know, all of a sudden he grew up fast. By the time you look at The Burbs and you compare that to 5 years earlier in the final chapter, and obviously he did a bunch of movies in between, right? License to Drive and all that shit. But like all of a sudden, the age difference is stark between The Burbs and the final chapter, and it's only 5 years. Crazy. Russ says, "Oh, it came out last week, but so did Bad Boys 4, and that got my attention first." Yeah, I still got to see Bad Boys, not the original. I've seen the first two, but I haven't seen the new one. Yep, sitting on the toilet would be a terrible way to go. Terrible way to go. Copycat was 95. Okay, yeah. I knew it was I knew it was 90s. And I knew it was kind of at the tail end of Sigourney Weaver's, stardom. But yeah, I have not seen that. I'm gonna go like 5 more minutes, guys, and I'm gonna get to bed. I got early meetings in the morning with my day job that kind of suck. So, all right, let's see what else we got here. Hey, Diamond Rattler's in the chat. How you doing, Diamond? Good to see you. She's still a star. Yeah, she's still a star. Yeah, Sigourney Weaver's always going to be a star, right? She's been in so many iconic movies, from Alien and Aliens to Ghostbusters. What else has she been in? He Knows You're Alone is pretty good too. It's another one I've heard of. I know that's an older one too, but that's another good title. There's some good titles back in the day. It's just like nicknames in sports. Back in the day, there were so many good nicknames, and now you just get nicknames of like people's initials, like KD or something like that. And it's like, really? Can we be a little more creative and have like the Mailman and Iceman and Dr. like that, not just people's fucking initials or something like that. So no creativity anymore. Have you seen any new horror movies this year? Which ones are you interested in? I haven't seen any new ones. The ones that are upcoming that interest me are Trap. I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about Trap with Josh Hartnett, the M. Night Shyamalan movie, and Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice intrigues me for pure nostalgic reasons, and just because I love Michael Keaton. I do think, I was saying on Sunday, I do think Beetlejuice is going to be, and this is funny because that's the title of the movie, but it's going to be too Beetlejuice centric. And I know that's what they have to do because Beetlejuice is, the selling point, and Michael Keaton is the selling point. But what I liked about that first movie is there was a whole plot to the movie, involving Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis and, this other family. And Beetlejuice was kind of on the side. He was just some trickster that got unleashed and caused all this havoc. On this new one, it kind of looks like, based on the trailer, that Beetlejuice is the key to something. And I know that's where they had to go with it. I know they had to have Beetlejuice and the character of Beetlejuice have the overarching, theme of the movie and have him be super part of the plot. But I feel like it's going to water him down a little bit, just like it does for all characters in sequels, whether it's Chucky, whether it's Freddy, Michael J, all of them. The more you make, the more you got to make it about, what becomes the brand of your, franchise. And, Beetlejuice is going to fall into the same traps that these other franchises did. But they got the band back together with Tim Burton and Keaton, like I said, and even Winona Ryder. And they got Jenna Ortega for the young people. So yeah, I'm intrigued by it. Should be good. Josh says, was Virus any good with Jamie Lee Curtis? I never saw that. Ronnie, you saw it in the theater? Nice. Is it any good, Ronnie? Taking away your feelings for Jamie Lee Curtis, who ruined your audio podcast? Dr. Hoffman says it was pretty good. Happy Birthday to Me is good. 80s movie. That one I have seen. It's been a while. It's been a long, long while since I saw that. But I remember enjoying it. And I think I remember like the poster being pretty cool. Is that the one with like it's not like a knife, but it's like something going in someone's I mean, there's something in a birthday cake, right? Like a skewer in a birthday cake or something like that. Ronnie says no. Real Dead says, looks like the great Tom Savini will be at a con I'm going to in October. I can't wait to meet him. Josh, when you meet him, ask him if he's been in Vietnam. Ask him if he was in Vietnam. Say, hey, were you ever in Vietnam? See what he says. Okay? I'm telling you, he loves talking about Vietnam. Literally, if you watch interviews with Savini, he's always bringing up Vietnam. I'm curious. I'd like to meet him too, especially because I heard he's an asshole. Now, I'm not saying he is an asshole. I'm just saying what I heard. But and I would formulate my own opinion, right? Just because someone else says he's an asshole doesn't mean he is an asshole. He might have just been a bad day for him, or maybe that other person, pushed his buttons or whatever. So not saying he's an asshole. I'm just saying he loves talking about Vietnam. It's kind of a running joke here. Davey just rewatched The Prowler to get all ready for a watch-along stream with Fauci this Friday. Ooh, nice. You guys are doing that? Nice. Yeah, like I said, me and Davey were talking about that last week. And the Prowler is really good. And that's obviously Savini as well. Also Joseph Zito, who directed the final chapter. Joseph Zito is a great director. He really uses light and shadow nice. And that's one of the things that stand out for me in the final chapter, besides, some of the kills and things like that, are the way light and shadow are used. You get great images of Jason, via silhouette. When he kills one of the horny Doublemint twins, you get moments when I think it's when Tommy says, Jason, don't you remember? And it cuts to Jason. And, it's just, you see the mask kind of half lit and everything else is in darkness. It's very Halloween-y, not Halloween 1970, 80 in that regard. And that's what I really like about the final chapter. Savini, the science behind the dick gun in From Dusk Till Dawn. Ask him a lot of stuff. Start with Vietnam. See where that goes. Mary F. Kill, Roseanne, Kitty from 70s Show, Claire Huxtable. I'd marry Roseanne. Absolutely marry Roseanne. I think she's hilarious. I'd probably F Kitty because she was in Seinfeld. She had a recurring role in Seinfeld as Jerry's not publicist, but whatever, manager, I think. And then we'll kill Claire Huxtable. Michael says, final chapter or Halloween 2, Nick? I know how much you like Halloween 2. Oh, yeah, I love Halloween 2. Certain day of the week, I might want to watch it over Halloween. The original from 1978 doesn't mean I think it's a better movie. I think it's light years behind there. But I get in a certain mood, I'll want to watch Halloween 2. But if you're asking me which is the better horror movie, Friday or Final Chapter or Halloween 2, it's Final Chapter for me. I think Final Chapter is better. And now it's very close. Like if you asked me to rank those two franchises combined in one ranking, both of those movies are going to be in the top 5. Both of them might be in the top 3 for me, where it might go Halloween 1978, Final Chapter, and then Halloween 2. I'd have to think about it, but they're neck and neck. But I probably think Final Chapter is the better movie. No wrong answer there, though. But all right, guys, it's been an hour. I was only planning on going 20 minutes. So I appreciate you guys in the chat. I appreciate all the great questions, even the Mary F. kills. Those are fun. Hold on, I'm gonna answer Ronnie's question here. It says, if you could interview any celebrity, who are you choosing? That's a good one. Depends. Do I want views or do I just want to talk to this? If I wanted views, it'd be Donald Trump, right? Because even whether you like him or hate him, people are probably watching that. And maybe I could get paid because all these news stations would give me credit for the interview or something like that. But if we're just talking about, for a, someone I would want to talk to, a celebrity, I would probably probably go with, I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to think about that one. Chad Joyce is in the house. Hey, Chad, how are you doing? Says Heath Ledger. Yeah. Well, I don't know. I might have to be dead to interview him. But if we're talking dead or alive, Ledger would be a good one to interview. I agree. It'd be cool to find out, what his mind was like before or while he was playing the Joker and things like that. But yeah, I'll let you know, Ronnie. It's a good question. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for watching tonight, and I will see you guys on the next one.